everyone, it's Anina again. So, yeah, it's been quite a while since I've made my last video. This is, well, because of multiple reasons. The main reason, though, is that I'm in the final semester of school, and it's very busy, and there's a lot of tests, and a lot going on. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff, especially making videos. So, yeah, I hope you understand. So today I want to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time, and I mean a really long time. You might have noticed that I don't do a lot of MLP videos anymore, at least just not often. There's no motivation to make these videos because for the longest time I've been I'm just not that interested in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic anymore. Now, before you jump to conclusions, there is a lot going on behind this, you know, this opinion and whatnot. And I only mean the show, so I'm not talking about the art and the videos like PMVs and stuff. I really enjoy the creative side of the fandom still. But when it comes to the show, there's a lot that's bothering me, so I wanted to talk about that and share some of my perspectives on the show with you. So, to begin, I want to take you guys back to when I started watching the show, which was in 2012. So, I believe I was watching while Season 2 was airing. The show was, well, it was very simple. There were 6 main characters, and Twilight was this stubborn kid who didn't want to make friends because she preferred learning and stuff. It was very childish, but it wasn't super unrealistic. There's plenty of people who don't want to make friends because they're busy doing other things. They don't see a point in making friends unless it's like, you know, sometimes it just happens, but other than that, they don't do it at all. So this show was super simple, and the story wasn't too complex, and it was clearly aimed at younger audiences. So yeah, you could really feel that kid, taller, yeah, you know, what it was originally made for. But there was a family twist. So what I mean by family twist is the same thing that Disney does, is the movies aren't just for the kids. They are also there for the family, so the family, the parents and the siblings and whatnot, that they don't have to sit there and just die on the inside as they watch whatever's going on the screen. So it was a good formula, and Lauren Faust, who created the show, really knew what she was doing. I believe she also said to someone on DeviantArt that she was making it more family-based, but I'm not sure. So as the younger me, I fell in love with the simplicity in the characters and the world it took place in. Well, the world was there, it had a name and it had towns, but it wasn't too in-depth. It wasn't like, oh, this is how far it goes, and you didn't know what was out there, which was really fun as well, because people speculated and stuff, but some people just wanted to know. They just wanted to know what was going on. So, for one, another thing is that, well, the characters, they weren't some kind of special snowflake, so to speak. They weren't the chosen ones, aside from their, you know, the elements. They were just casual ponies with casual lives, and, you know, they all just lived in normal homes, and there was nothing too special about them, which was very, I don't know, pleasant, in my opinion. Twilight lived in this library, which was it was so cozy. I really liked the library as, like, home. For some reason, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to put my finger on it, to be honest. But it was very nice. Their homes and their lives, and you know, they weren't some kind of chosen ones with a prophecy or something. So another thing I really enjoyed is that every episode had these, you know, very clear and actually really, no, I mean, I wouldn't say realistic. They're like a very simplified version of real life, but they had these lessons, the friendship lessons. And every episode at the end, they would recap these lessons with a letter to Princess Celestia, which was really fun. I don't know, I really enjoyed that aspect. I'm sure you all know that this hasn't been done for a long time, and they just stopped doing it completely. I mean, it makes sense, but I really did miss it when it just disappeared. I really missed that Dear Princess Celestia at the end of each episode. It was really entertaining, and even though it was for kids, obviously, the lessons you could really apply them to real life, even though they were, you know, it's not that you would come into those situations every day. But I do think they are really neat, especially for younger audiences, you know, that they can learn from it in a very strange way. So, up next, I kind of want to compare the overall image that was in the first 3 seasons with how the show is now. So, right now, Twilight is, well, she's a princess, an alicorn, and she has this castle, and the castle is one of my biggest complaints in the new episodes, because it's one of the biggest slaps in the face that the show has done in terms of toy advertisement. It's so clear that the tree, the big crystal tree, is incredibly out of place for Ponyville. Like, all the houses are like woodish and with hay roofs and stuff, and then there's this big crystal blue building, and it looks so strange. Of course, there's a lot more toy placements in this show, and it makes sense, you know. It's a big advertisement. The show has always been a big advertisement ever since it was created, so I can't blame them, but you do have to be a little more subtle about it, in my opinion. So it was weird. It was weird. The plastic, I know it was cheaper, and you know, I hated it. That was one of my biggest frustrations in the newer episodes. Another thing that really bothers me is how the characters are really achieving dreams instead of chasing them. Now, this sounds a bit rude, I guess, but there was something really fun about the dreams they had. For example, how Rainbow Dash was dreaming about meeting Spitfire and stuff at the gala. It was really big, and the Wonderbolts, for example, felt really, really important. Like something you would think that it was something that wouldn't happen until the actual end of the show, you know? And another thing is that some characters even changed a lot. Like Fluttershy, for example, she was a lot more shy. She's a lot more assertive nowadays, and I know that's what she was working towards, but now that she is more assertive, it just doesn't feel that Fluttershy anymore. She's still kind, but the shy in her name just feels out of place to me now. Another character that's been like growing huge amounts is Rarity with her boutiques. I remember when she only had the one in Ponyville, and she was really just dreaming about having those bigger ones in the big cities, and it was really fun. We wanted to see Rarity grow. We wanted to see her actually get those boutiques, but all of a sudden she just had them. It didn't feel like there was a build up or anything. She just suddenly had them. Now, let me get back to the Wonderbolts real quick. The whole thing with the Wonderbolts was extremely strange, in my opinion, because Rainbow Dash was working towards it and all that, and then the episode where she becomes a Wonderbolt, which I believe is Newbie Dash or something, she becomes a Wonderbolt before the intro even starts. This has been built up with so much like excitement and dreaming and all of that, and then it just happens before the intro. Like within those few seconds, she gets a letter and she's like, "Oh wow, I'm a Wonderbolt now," and that's it. That's all. That's how she becomes a Wonderbolt. How weird is that? Now, maybe this is nitpicky, I don't know, but if it was up to me, yeah, this is gonna sound really rude, I guess, but if it was up to me, I think it would have been a lot better if Rainbow Dash did some great deed and the Wonderbolts saw her work through that deed, and then they made her a Wonderbolt at the spot. So if you remember the Sonic Rainbow episode, for example, where Rainbow Dash saves Rarity and the Wonderbolts from crashing down to their death, like something like that, where they're like, "Oh, we see potential in you. Would you be interested in becoming a Wonderbolt?" So I don't know. This felt really strange, and all of a sudden, characters like Spitfire weren't as mysterious anymore, and they became very casual, and the magic there was a little gone. Again, maybe it's nitpicky. Yeah, that's just how I viewed those character developments. Now, when it comes to writing, there's also quite a few things that bother me. The older episodes, they feel a lot more. It's kind of complicated to explain, but they feel soft, so to speak. They feel more simplistic. They feel more. I don't know. The feel in those episodes was really like magical, very comforting and yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to explain, I'm sorry. But right now, we have a lot more aware writing, so to speak. So the episodes, it feels like the writing is more aimed at the older audiences, because trust me, Hasbro is very aware that there is adults watching their show. So maybe they decided to play on that, because I don't know, the feel of the show has changed incredibly. Like, it's so much. So there's a lot of more joking episodes now. Like, the funny faces are a lot more common. You know, back in the day, if there was one weird face, it would become such a meme instantly, because it didn't happen often. But now it's pretty dang common that there's so many funny faces and weird expressions and over-the-top reactions and stuff. It's yeah, I don't know how I feel about it all. So now I'm gonna move on to a little thing that I know a lot of you have talked about with perhaps other bronies and stuff. And that's the whole character thing with Starlight Glimmer. A new member of the main six, and how they put her in as a main character nowadays. So I wanted to go back a little bit further and talk about Equestria Girls real quick. Equestria Girls was a spin-off. Now it was very clever, because it didn't play in the pony universe, but it did have the characters in a very strange manner. So they could still play with them in a totally different environment and make interesting stories from there. And in that spin-off, we also got my favorite character, which is Sunset Shimmer. And Sunset Shimmer she's a great character. She's actually what Starlight Glimmer is, but just with different colors. I'm pretty sure Starlight's very based on Sunset. So Sunset is in that universe, and they're having their own little stories and stuff, but they don't really influence the pony universe, which is really good. I really enjoy that loose feel of the Equestria Girls series. Now, Starlight Glimmer, on the other hand, it was strange. She was a villain, and just the fact that she was such a casual pony in a way, it was very obvious what was going to happen to her. She wasn't going to get destroyed. That was clear. So Starlight Glimmer became a new member, and it was weird. I didn't like it at all at first, because I grew really attached to the main six and their special characteristics and stuff. And then all of a sudden we get a second, like, Twilight Sparkle with a bit more mature personality thrown in there. At least that's how I saw her at first. Now, quick reminder, I don't hate Starlight Glimmer as a character. I just feel like she's out of place being a main character. I feel like it would have been more fun if she was a spin-off kind of thing. But the thing with that is that the whole Starlight Glimmer being a main character is definitely intentional, because there's so many episodes with her in it now that wouldn't have been possible without her as a character. So there's probably a big chance that she was put in for, you know, new ideas for new episodes, so they could make more episodes and all that. Speaking of Starlight Glimmer, villains. Villains are also a big thing. I feel like we haven't had a real threatening villain in a while. I believe the last one was T-Rex, I think. But all the villains lately, they just, like, Chrysalis is back all of a sudden, and it feels repetitive. Like, we've seen her, we got it, we've already seen her do stuff twice, and it's boring. It's boring. I want to see new villains, new actual threats. And now there's this thing with the current season finale where it's supposedly a kid or something that's going to be the villain. I don't know. I like threatening villains. I like villains that actually want to just destroy everything. And Twilight and her friends actually destroy the villain instead of being like, haha, here's the magic of friendship. You're a good guy now. And it makes zero sense. I don't know. I get that you want to promote the whole idea, maybe to kids, maybe, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but it feels like they're promoting that idea of like, hey, you know that bully in your class that really sucks? Well, just show him the magic of friendship and you can be friends with him. Woo! Yeah, no, that's not how it works. So, I don't know. I just want to see threatening villains and yeah. Just give me a good guy villain, a good really bad villain. I mean, that's determined to destroy their world for a good reason, not some dumb reason. Just really give me some weird backstory on that. I like those a lot. Now, there is one other issue. This one is very obvious. The show might be going on for too long. Now, I know there's a lot of bronies out there who are like, no, I don't want my show to end. I don't want Gen 5 to start. But you don't want your show to turn out like something like SpongeBob. Trust me, when you drag a show on for too long, it gets so bland. Because you can only tell so many good stories with so many characters without putting in new ones that make it feel, you know, not like the same show as it was in the beginning. I really believe that the show has to end as soon as possible. Just give me that good ending with all those questions we haven't had answered, whatever, and just end the show. Just put it to an end. Just kill it off. Let the fans will keep creating anyway. There's a lot of bronies and fans of the show out there who don't even watch the show anymore. They just draw and make stories and all. They like the designs and the world that it's building, but they just don't enjoy the show anymore. So I really feel like the show has to end. And if I have to say anything about G5, Generation 5, it's that it's gotta be, I want it to be for kids again. I want it to be simplistic, not too simplistic like the very old shows with like, oh, look at me, I'm so girly, look at me wearing this beautiful dress, oh wow, that's a beautiful dress, Rainbow Dash. I really didn't enjoy those. I like the more storytelling, but don't make it where it is now. Don't aim it at the mature audiences. Keep it a little more to the kids, because honestly, this is gonna be another really rude comment. I don't see that many great shows for kids anymore lately. There's like so much shows that feel a little too similar to each other. We want something fresh, to be honest. Steven Universe is great, but kids are never gonna understand the whole depth that's going on there. Like, they're just gonna see a random episode on TV and they just see colors and characters, but they don't realize what's going on. So just make MLP a little more kid-based. Just let the fandom continue their own thing, and let Hasbro continue their toys and kids-based stuff. Speaking of the toys and kids-based stuff, I got a real eye-opener a while ago. I was at the store, and I was looking at some pony merch. I don't actually buy it anymore, but I was just looking at it. And then there was this girl sitting on the floor, and she was grabbing all the boxes for those Equestria Girls minis, you know, like the cute figures for like, what are they, $5, $10? She was she was just going through all the boxes, and then she just paused. She grabbed this Rarity one, and she paused. And all of a sudden, she just raised her voice and went, Mommy, look, this is the one I want. And then she goes up to her mom, and the mom looks at it, and she's like, oh, is that the one you want? Oh, okay, yeah, sure, you can have it. And she was so excited. And, I don't know, it just gave me flashbacks to when I was a kid, and the audience that this show is meant for. I feel like that there are a lot of kids that actually really enjoy this show, even though sometimes you'll think that it's way more like the mature audience is just taken over, but there's still a lot of kids. So let's just let the kids have their show. I think we have to move on from My Little Pony as a show. I think it's time that the show shuts down and we just do the rest ourselves. Now, as a creator who makes pony content, of course that's a bit problematic, and I'm sure a lot of subscribers subscribe for pony content, and they're not gonna keep watching for, you know, if I upload something not pony related, it's never gonna get as much views, which is kind of disappointing, obviously, but whatever. If that's how it happens, that's how it happens. So, yeah, I'm sorry that this video was so, how do you call it, rambly. It's not structured at all. I just wanted to talk about this, and knowing how I talk in videos, it's probably very vague and confusing, but, yeah, I just wanted to get this out there, have you guys know that this is why I haven't been making that much pony content. I am thinking of making another PMV because I really enjoy video editing. So yeah, maybe you'll see that in the future. But for now, I'll be really busy. But if you do support my stuff, you can go to my DeviantArt. I also have drawing commissions open if anyone's interested in that. So, you know, like where you pay money and I can draw your character if you want. A full body is currently $8. So if you're interested, just hit me up on like DeviantArt or something. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a comment with your opinion on the show and how you believe it should end, or maybe you don't think it shouldn't end at all. Whatever, let me hear it. I'm always really interested in reading comments. Maybe like the video, whatever, or subscribe if you want to see more videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!